back to Joe Stunner Boxing. So Fabio Wardley stops David Adeleyi in the 7th round with, well, I think the fight was over when he landed a massive left hook that put Adeleyi flat on his back, looking up at him, smiling and poking his tongue out. His tongue was covered in blood because there was blood coming out of his mouth. He got up, Wardley went to work again. Adeleyi had nothing to really offer. He did fire a few punches back. He got sort of skidded sideways across the ropes into the adjacent ropes, and John Latham, the referee, stepped in and stopped it. Adeleyi wasn't happy. He actually sort of instinctively shoved Latham, but I don't think he meant that. I don't think it. The commentator on the stream I watched said, "Oh, you know, he's going to get fined for that." I'm not sure whether that's warranted, because I think it was just an instinctive, frustrated move. It's not like he hit Latham. He did. There was contact, but come on. I mean, you know, you have to live in the real world. But no doubt about it, this was a really, really impressive performance by Wardley. And he was just, considering he didn't go into a gym or start any kind of boxing schooling until he was 21. He looked to me like the guy who had been boxing since he was a kid. Adeleyi, they say there's levels to this, and I think Adeleyi is quite clearly a level or two below Wardley in terms of natural talent, because Adeleyi had little moments. The fight started and it was all a bit cat and mouse, a little bit chess-like, but both of them were stepping forward, you know, and trying to land individual punches just to sort of test the waters, like they were dipping their toes in or their fists in just to check the temperature. And it was a close first round. The second round, I thought Wardley started to sort of find his range. There was I can't remember what, I think it might have been a left hook which sort of zipped past Wardley's head. And it was quite obvious during those early rounds that what Adeleyi was trying to do was set a trap where Wardley would come in, sort of stand on the line, and then perhaps fire off some hooks and get a bit too greedy, and then Adeleyi could fire his own left hook and knock him out. I hope certainly knock him down. Adeleyi was also very rough, tactically rough. John Latham did speak to him a couple of times and said, you know, you got to knock this on the head, because he was, you know, it was fist, the hand under the chin, and grabbing and holding with one arm and pushing with the other, and all this sort of thing. But fair play to Wardley, he kept his cool, even though it did look a little bit frustrated at times. There was I like the way Wardley was mixing up his punches as well. He seemed to have a far greater array of punches than Adeleyi. He landed some body shots, but most of the time it was good. Some nice jabs coming actually. Actually, Adeleyi landed a couple of good individual jabs himself. I did feel that Wardley was at times getting a bit too greedy, standing a bit in the pocket for a bit too long. And I thought there was that sort of ominous feeling with Adeleyi, with that big swinging left hook, because he fired that a couple of times and it zipped past Wardley's chin, and you were thinking, my God, you know, if that lands, it's all over. But it didn't land. As the fight went on, there was I don't know what happened, but Wardley landed a punch, and maybe the thumb clipped Adeleyi in the eye because he was blinking. I think it was his left eye. He was blinking quite a bit, and it did look red. It did look reddened in between rounds. Like I said, blood was coming out of his mouth from about the 3rd or 4th round. He wasn't being outclassed, don't get me wrong, but Wardley was kind of picking him apart and showing a bit too much variety. And Adeleyi just wanted, you know, that chance to land that left hook. He did very early on. I don't know whether it was. It might have been the second round. He actually disguised it looked like he was going to jab, and he disguised it with a left hook that sort of got Wardley's attention, but he couldn't land it flush. And I think basically he had Ben Davis in the corner, who was, you know, sort of giving Wardley good directions, you know, telling him not to be too cautious, to try and push Adeleyi back. Don't let him get set. Keep the jab on him. You know, try and disrupt his rhythm, because Adeleye at no point in the fight found any kind of steady rhythm. It was all Wardley who was doing that, and it became it's almost as if Adeleye's options got less and less as the fight went on. It was all just, I'll draw him in and land a big left hook. In the meantime, when Wardley was coming forward, he was landing his own punches, and they were hurtful punches. And then taking it into the 7th round, I think I had it after 6. I might have had it like 4-2. I think it was to Wardley, but the 2 that I gave to Adeleye were close, and it was just the weighter punch really, because Wardley didn't look like he was trying to knock him out with one punch, if you know what I mean. They were combinations, very good, which is the way you should fight. You know, you shouldn't go looking for one big wallop. And as the fight got on, I thought Adeleye was looking for one big punch, and the more the fight went on, the less likely it became. Well, like I say, in the 7th round, that enormous left hook put Adeleye flat on his back. He got up and ended up getting stopped, but was very, very irate. And afterwards, you know, I always got the feeling that Adeleye, before the fight, with all the brouhaha that was happening, you know, I just thought, he's trying to beef himself up. He's trying to intimidate Wardley. It ain't going to happen. And sure enough, after the fight, Adeleye, although he was irate that it had been stopped, he went over to Wardley and was friendly towards him. And Wardley looked, you know, all right, okay, mate, you know, but he didn't seem to. I don't think he's quite let go of what happened in that little mini sort of fracas after the press conference, that first press conference. But he won. He won by stoppage, retained his British title and picked up the Commonwealth title and a couple of alphabet soup trinkets. So he's flying. He's flying for a guy who never had any amateur fights. He's doing very, very well indeed. Can Adeleye come back? Yeah, I don't see why not. But I don't see talent that will take him beyond. Well, it might take him to perhaps, let's say, European level, maybe. British level, certainly. But Wardley looks, at the very least, European level, at the very least. And it was also impressive the way when Adeleye was trying to wind him up, he wasn't having it. He wasn't having it. He kept his cool. He was grimacing a few times and looked a bit pissed off, but there was no real. There wasn't certainly no panic, and there was certainly no intent of getting out of his game plan. I don't think Ben Davison would allow that anyway. But let me know what you thought of this fight. This is the one I was looking forward to. I don't think it disappointed at all. It was a good fight. I predicted Wardley would win on points, but yeah, he did it before then, long before then, 12-round fight. He stopped him in 7, so good luck to him. Comments below. Let me know what you think. Thanks as always. Subscribe to the channel if you know. Hit the subscribe button and also the button, you know, as well. And spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing. I will catch you all later. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye for now.